things, just sure. Is 7:30 Eastern time.
Yeah, oh, good, did she
Yeah,
realize that?
because, well, I'm sure she did, but, I just.
Where is she? She's on the West Coast?
Yeah,
So what's that? That's
no
like,
point, it didn't
it's
hurt.
like 4:30 there?
Yeah.
Can I eat here?
Yeah, you,
All right. I'm so hungry. I didn't, today's been
Oh.
such a crazy day.
Really?
I didn't even go home. I just came, I had to go to Bayside in Queens.
Why?
Why? Oh, because I used to live there.
Oh.
Yeah, so sometimes I go there. I live there for, I go there. That's what I do for the past 20 years.
Yeah,
Yeah, I like it. I used to them, right? So every time well, you don't call her right anymore, but
No.
I still call her. And my brother, what? Call her, do like meetings. My older brother. I said, no, all right. So,
oh, Gail may come tonight, it would be nice, it's always better when she comes, get her a chair.
so you lived in Bayside?
when we lived in Bayside. When I came, my husband's from Miami.
So from where?
Miami, Florida.
yeah.
So when we moved here to New York, we lived in all over different neighborhoods in Queens.
Yeah,
So but I've been working here for 18 years. So after 14 years, it was too much.
Yeah.
And then I moved here
Mhm.
because it was the commute. But it's nice. That was the first place we moved in 19.
yeah, Bayside's nice.
Yeah, we moved 1998 to New York. He wanna live in Brooklyn, in Williamsburg, but our daughter was little, and then Brooklyn was so industrial, right?
Yeah.
Unless we live at Prospect Park, otherwise was everything like
Just
cement. And then I was
concrete.
yeah.
I grew up in Manhattan
Oh, okay.
and 1990, 1989, 1990. I had to get out of the apartment that I grew up in. So I was newly married at the time to my first wife, and we looked at an apartment in Park Slope.
Park Slope.
And this is 1989. 1989, they were asking $92,000.
Wow.
And I said to her, who's gonna pay $92,000 to live in Brooklyn? I should have bought the building. I'd be retired now. It's a
Wow.
story of my life. Hello, ladies, how are you?
Hi, I'm Rick Foreman, here's our former member. Oh, I just have a cold. Oh, and there's Marlene, we're
Oh, great,
here.
we're on.
Hi.
Marlene. Hey, how are
We
you?
can't see her, well, we can't see both.
Yeah, you can turn the table that way.
That's a good idea.
Congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations, Marlene.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Is anyone getting any sleep?
Well, she hired a baby nurse, so that's good.
Oh, that's good.
I'm not being rude. I have to sit up here to do the
Yeah,
Zoom.
no.
Just-
We're very grateful. He came in early to figure out how to do the controls.
Tom,
Yeah. Well, so we got a quorum now, right?
We've got
Ah.
a quorum, we can do it.
Wow,
Thank
finally.
you, all
the
of you.
March minutes apparently.
Yeah, we're gonna approve the March minutes.
Call Cliff, right? But he hasn't called me back yet. What is that, Cliff? The one for the email?
Cliff, yeah,
Yeah.
Cliff
I left
Kazis.
him a message, yeah. I left him a
Hard, This
message.
is not, it's not an easy system.
Yeah, so I still don't have the.
Let me give
Can I
out,
move it down this way and then I'll sit at the
Oh,
far end?
sure,
I think I closed the.
that's Dave, thank you. Okay. Sure. Okay, I actually printed out the newest attachments, so.
Oh, thank you. But right now,
I have them come forward. If I
I'm
remember
gonna wear a
correctly,
mask,
yeah.
just more sharing.
I think I brought the agenda. Well, I can read it on my computer.
Yeah.
I have,
From the last 2 days, is the same as from the last 2 times, right?
Well, I thought it was gonna be exactly the same, here's the agenda, yeah. But, You know, it was rainy on July 4th and everybody stayed home and sent emails. So we have some new things to talk about.
Sorry about my back.
Oh, that's a problem. That's no problem.
Did you give this to Tom? I don't seem to have the agenda. Did you?
Thank you very much.
I thought we put it down for the other. Nobody should. Yeah, we can just skip through.
I had a question.
Yes,
Before I can't believe I remembered. I don't know. So. Now we have this tree law
yeah,
about
but we're gonna file them.
I thought,
what happens if somebody has a non-native tree, it's a Norway resort,
Yeah,
that they want to remove.
it's still subject
Subject
to
to the
law.
tree
Yeah.
law,
Still subject to the law. I mean, you know, these non-natives are a problem, but
I know,
even though they're awful,
I'm sure we talked about this at some point.
I'm sure we did. The reality is there's still, at this point, we
There's
need
still
canopy
canopy,
and we
yeah.
need all the water and.
Yeah.
from my recollection, the law only covers the diameter of the tree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it can't be replaced with, they can't take it out of the site.
And I saw in my.
Thank you.
When I was in the Winter Gardens, there's a place that they used to have a playground there inside, like in the property. And now they have this whole wall with no trees, you know, just, that's goes.
Is it village property or is it private?
I think it's private. We need to find out, but even if it's private property, we still can offer trees, right? But even if private, it's the private property, we still can,
We. Now, actually, what we can talk about that tonight, because it's written in the tree law that we could
yes,
give people trees, because they're contributing to the.
yeah, I don't even know if they keep one or not, but I was gonna ask.
Yeah. Yeah, actually. I want to first approve the minutes.
Thank you.
I don't have one. Oh, yeah, here's one, two.
You sorted these and stuff. Here I go. 1, 2, 3. Okay. It is, where's my pen? It is, hey, this is just great. It is 7:36. And we'll open the meeting.
I don't have minutes.
You don't have the minutes, no one has the minutes, I forgot the minutes, this is the third time we've had.
That's it, yeah.
So, does anyone have any corrections to the minutes of March 15th? Which I'm sure you all read, okay. Marlene?
Nope.
Nope, okay. Okay, then someone want to move to approve the minutes, thank you, Wendy. Anyone like to second that?
Oh, no, I cannot
Yeah,
say.
you can, no, you don't have to be
Okay.
there, Lilia. Okay, all in favor? All in favor, we've got the March minutes,
One in a landslide.
really. Okay. Comments from residents, Gail, anything you'd like to say right now? You can pipe in as long as you're the only resident as we go along. We've been over all this correspondence, so unless there are questions, I don't see any point in doing it again.
I have a question.
Okay.
Oh, there was the correspondence from Josh. Poland,
Yes.
Live stream, but I believe he did not get a response. So
He's what?
He did not get a reply.
Really?
Response, so, I think they moved on to a different,
Oh,
donation somewhere else. Yeah,
I'm sorry to hear that.
yeah. They were very excited about it, so that was unfortunate.
I'm sorry, I'm really sorry to hear that. It's unfortunate. We've also, well, I have two things to say. We've looked at the, in fact, I showed Lilia and Wendy last week, the last time we didn't meet. The worksheet for tree inspections, possible removals or pruning that I sent to the village, so now we've sent for May and for June. Anytime you see something, until I can get the Google sheet, which I don't control, set up to put you on it, you just tell me if you see trees. With the address, I need the street number, all this. The Tompkins Farm Oak, in March, we talked about it, and at that point, the village believes that it was in fact on private property, it's right on the line. However, Jerry asked his office to go to the county courthouse and just research the deed. And they determined that it is actually a village tree. I have not heard, I haven't seen him. At some point I will talk to him. I believe then they will probably have an inspection and decide what to do based on what advice they get. But I have to say, I've been over to look at it several times and it looks great. It's like 200 and it's pre-revolution.
Yeah.
Did you go see it?
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. I saw the wrong one.
You saw
I
it, right?
remember, yeah.
And then go to the red
Yeah.
one. It's huge, it's beautiful, it's beautiful tree.
Because it says that it's in the street on the side, not at the end.
Again, we've talked about this address, that's something I need to talk to Jerry about. And revisions to the tree laws, I don't know whether that's happened. Let's talk about the planting beyond the right of way and tree scholarships, because I think they're the same thing, except that the tree scholarship idea is a little more fully articulated. But the idea is that in the tree law, we said for the first time, what you were asking about is that the village could offer with the owner's permission, offer to give a tree. I don't know how you were thinking of it with the scholarships, Tom, but would you anticipate the village planting it or?
I would anticipate the village buying a tree, planting a tree where the homeowner wanted it, in with the advice and consent of the community, of the tree committee. And then the owner would be tasked with using their best efforts to maintain the tree.
Like, would we give them a gator bag?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, okay. So, beyond, and then it's their tree, so they would have to, I mean, I'd be happy as a citizen pruner to, several years from now, go in and show them how to prune. It has to establish, if they want it. I'm not gonna show up with my little vest and my saw without that, but, okay, I mean.
And this is for
essentially what we
people,
wanted,
this
and
is for property owners that don't have the ability to have a tree planted in their right of way.
There are a lot of those places, the whole Washingtonville neighborhood, basically. Gail and I have walked through it over and over, and the streets are narrow. It's an old neighborhood. The streets are narrow. There's often no planting strip, or if there is, it's like
Very
4 inches
very
wide. But there are other neighborhoods that need that too, and there's just no space. So, we should do it. I met, you probably know her, Laura Abate, is her name? And we were handing out trees at St. Vito's about 2 months ago with Kate. And she knows that neighborhood inside out, and she said she'd be happy to work with me when we ever got this straightened out, because she knows, like, the first people to take trees, some people aren't gonna want them. She would know who to go to, and then sometimes people don't want them, but then they see them and they realize that they're actually nice. But people trust her because she's from that neighborhood, so I'd like to work on that this summer and find addresses for that, now that we've determined that it's a public good. And New York State case law allows public good on private property.
We asked the Attorney General for an opinion, and they never got back
I
to us.
know.
So,
But I found the case.
yeah, and there is case law that would support it if somebody sued us. The problem in this community is that you have lunatics who are going to sue over anything. But I can't see a judge saying it's a bad thing for the community, right? I mean, what are you gonna do? Didn't make us take the tree out?
Dig
Come
the
on.
tree up.
The honor, do they have to prove that?
No, I don't think they have.
Because scholarship, right?
Yeah, no, they don't have to, it's not a financial link, it's really just
Just
what
the
we
name.
call it, something
Okay.
somebody can understand.
Yeah.
Mhm. All right.
We're giving you something. So I'm gonna try to work on that one for the summer, you know, if anyone else wants to do that. too.
And, you know, Robert and Janito will help you get the information out to the community too.
What?
Robert and Janito.
I don't know him.
Oh, he's the guy that does the village public relations.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Robert.
Rob-
Robert,
okay.
yeah.
Oh, Robert,
You know.
yeah.
Yeah, Robert.
You just pronounced it correctly.
He would definitely help out with that.
Ah. Okay. He's a big tree person too. Again, we've covered, those are the new things that came up. And these are among the attachments that I gave you. First one is the spotted lantern fly. There was a long email that came, I think, to the whole committee. It's A1. And she's writing, I've been hearing this from other people. The spotted lantern fly has definitely made it to the village of Mamaroneck.
I found one today.
Did you? Okay,
I killed 4 juveniles today
really?
How'd you get them?
Yeah, you squash
They
them.
jump.
with a book.
Yeah, so you get them.
Smash them with a
Hard to
book.
get, yeah.
But they are, but sometimes they're not. One of them I just squished with a tissue.
They smell terrible. I think.
I didn't smell, well, I didn't smell.
Okay,
Again, juveniles, the young juveniles
Yeah.
are just black and white,
Yeah.
black with white spots, and then
yeah,
later
they're probably
they're
that
red with white
when they're
spots.
mature. Yeah.
And then they get wings and
Yeah.
then they're got black spots.
Yeah.
They always have spots,
The
very pretty and unusual.
oh
looking.
yeah, you know, all these things, the emerald ash borer is beautiful. But they're really bad. I don't think they kill the trees, but they weaken them with the other things.
Yeah,
Yeah.
mold.
Yeah.
Um,
Anyway. You know, there are a couple things we could probably do,
Is this one?
and she discussed
Yeah.
them, and certainly Tree of Heaven. I passed one on the street, you know, and she said, what's interesting, she sent a way to identify it, which was actually very helpful. In the back.
That's the article, remember I sent you?
Oh, is that the one you sent me? I'm sorry. I didn't-
Sorry.
So I actually was able to identify one and it had black bugs on it. It was kind of far away. I mean, I think if one thing we might want to do, this is another Robert thing, probably is public information. Just to look out for it. Tree of Heaven should be taken out if anyone has it. People have it because it's very invasive. So
That's the tree that grows in Brooklyn. Yeah,
you're kidding.
no, I mean, the tree that grows in Brooklyn
Yeah.
is Ailanthus. It grows out of subway grades and that. Grows anywhere. It was originally brought here because there was an idea that they would host silkworms. They would start a silkworm, industry. But it didn't work. And then they spread.
When was it brought here?
I don't know, maybe the 1800s, I'm not sure.
Oh, really?
Or it might have
So-
been.
So here we counter our issue. So if we're encouraging people to remove Tree of Heaven,
It's still a tree,
it's still a tree.
yeah.
Do they get big?
I don't know. I don't.
Yeah,
know.
they
If they're old enough,
I
yeah.
don't know how big the
Sure,
the trunk gets.
That's interesting. Yeah, it's the trunk.
I have mixed feelings about this, I have to
Okay.
say, because yes, they're invasive, but they also provide a lot of shade
Same problem.
and cooling.
Yeah.
But they are hosts for those spotted lanterns.
Well, they also like oaks and maples, don't they?
Yeah, but their first two choices are Tree of Heaven and grapes, and I'm thinking I may have to rip out the grape.
I would rather they ate a tree of heaven than the oaks.
Oh, no, that's where they'll reproduce.
Yeah.
They're
Where
not
will they
gonna,
reproduce?
what?
I mean, on the.
I mean,
Ailanthus?
if they get, if they reproduce in the ground. I mean, they.
No, they lay these
Tell us, I'm
long
not-
waxy kind of brown string.
Yeah, on
maybe an
bark.
inch long or so on the bark, yeah,
Oh, yeah. Yes,
looks like scales, is that the?
I think so.
I've
This is
got
a
it.
lot.
They look more like scales.
No,
That
this is
looks
the
like,
herbicide treatment. Oh. Okay. Oh, so that's not it. Okay.
I was listening to NPR the other day and they had somebody talking about spotted lanternfly
Yeah,
and their opinion, some expert, who's very into like city gardening
yeah.
stuff, was to let it run its course.
You
They
kill
don't-
everything?
They don't think that we can eliminate it.
No.
Well, I don't see how we can eliminate,
eliminate
it, especially because the main way they say to get rid of it is to squash it, and there's no
There's
possibility.
so
of-
many, there are so many, and then how about when they're adults and they're flying?
Yeah, there are some things people can do though, like in the spring, when they crawl out of the ground and up the tree trunk. You can put sticky tape around the trunk of the tree and that. stops
Also in
the-
national parks, they have some kind of bug catching thing.
Yeah,
What I was reading today, problem with the bug catchers is they're indiscriminate. They
And they
kill
Yeah.
all,
the
they kill
lighting.
beneficial bugs.
yeah, I know, that's why you certainly don't want to spray. 'Cause that takes out everything.
Yeah.
Somebody on something was saying white vinegar. Spray them,
Really?
the white vinegar kills them.
It
I'm gonna try
kills,
it.
They say dish soap
Spotted
too,
lantern
but
fly.
it kills other things too.
But if you see the spotted lantern.
Oh, you mean
squirt
target
it with
Yeah.
the,
I would just squash it if I
Vinegar.
saw it.
but they're hard to squash. There was a whole infestation by the garden shelter again. Every leaf I was turning over, there they were. Oh, yeah.
Well.
So they're here. That didn't take long, huh?
Yeah, they are here.
I remember reading about
Part
them
of
a
the
couple of months
problem
ago.
is they spread that sticky
Shut
honeydew stuff,
Yeah.
like ants have it too, but they just make it in massive quantities apparently.
Yeah, well,
How tall do they get?
no,
Ailanthus?
yeah,
Oh,
very
Really?
tall, yeah. I mean, I just,
It's on our list now of trees that, we have a recommended tree list. And it's on the list as a tree you don't plant, but it's not it's not a law, it's just a recommendation.
I mean, that article that I shared with you, Wendy, from the American Corpse, right, the corpse.
Mhm.
It's not like corpse, no,
no, just corn,
corpse.
silent S.
Yeah, corpse. I was like, anyway, so that there was this whole thing in NPR, was a podcast, but then I found the article. So what they do, they have people that go and they inject something in the tree of heaven for them to die slowly. It has to be done with the right way, because otherwise they send a message to all the trees.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
so
really?
there's a whole group of, people that do that. So, but I don't know.
There's, did they say anything about whether it affects other insects?
No, that one, I mean, we can read this article again. I mean, I heard the show, The Secret Life of Plant Killers. It's kind of interesting.
The reality show?
In a nutshell. No, anyway, we had to listen, but one other thing that I thought was interesting is that then when they were explaining that they have people that volunteer to go, I mean, it has to be, you have
To be
it's not
licensed,
just like,
probably.
you cannot just go and kill, but you have to know how to give injection to the tree and has to have certain amount of, I think, how do you kill a tree? Some kind of herbicide or something like that. But you have to put this in the right amount, because otherwise the tree sends signals to the other ones
Oh.
and then they become stronger. That's like a whole thing.
Yeah, they talk to each other.
Yes, so it's fascinating.
They
So
send
it's
out
not, but I know
chemicals.
this is something for the triple media. I think this
Yeah.
has to be something
Yeah,
bigger than us, right? 'Cause
Yeah.
this is not just in Maryland, right?
No, it's everywhere.
So,
I mean, the same thing with this Japanese knotweed, maybe we.
That's
organize like
everywhere.
an invasive plant,
Mm.
removal.
Yeah,
The nice thing about Japanese knotweed, if you pull it out when it's just a sprout, early
Yeah.
spring, you can cook it like asparagus, tastes kind of like asparagus. and
Oh,
eat it.
really?
Yeah,
really?
yes. Wow, very tasty.
It's also easier
With
to pull
garlic
than.
and olive oil.
oh,
Yeah, it's
Um,
much easier to pull than, right, it dies back each year, but it comes back
Yeah.
viciously. It's all over that, that's the name of the community on Ridgeville behind the Trader Joe parking lot. There's a parking lot there.
Yeah.
It's got tons of it. It's all over the place. And it's not a host plant, unfortunately.
I'm
Are
not
they
even sure
saying
what Japanese
lantern
knotweed
flies?
looks like. What?
Is it a host of lantern flies? Is that what it's mentioned here?
Well, everything hosts lantern flies. No, I don't think so. Oh, well, wait. She's
No, I
saying
think she was just talking about,
invasive plants.
oh, she says feeding on the tree of heaven renders lanternflies distasteful and toxic to birds and other predators. Thereafter, right, so maybe if it couldn't feed on those, other things would learn to eat them. Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah,
Wait, what were you saying?
in this
I see where she's saying if feeding makes it.
feeding on them, yeah. That would be the main reason to remove those tree of heavens.
Yeah.
I don't see how we could do it, with the tree law.
We
as
couldn't
it-
do it.
No,
I mean, how individuals can do it. with the
I
tree
mean,
law as it
if-
is.
yeah, because I don't even think it would be a good idea to sort of issue a. Blanket, tree law doesn't count for this tree because they go everywhere anyway,
But they eating is
makes them
right,
not. They're no predators.
right.
So she gives some resources here to see.
She does.
Yeah, good resource, and then she says publicize to citizens and business.
But maybe the
Ouch.
first place to go look for that is in the public parks.
I was thinking that the first thing
The
that we
village.
should show the village property and see
Yeah,
what's
and
in
see
there.
what was.
I wonder if George Crofts could do a, educational. Like public program here.
I don't know if it would get a big turnout. But well, it might, it'd get all the gardeners.
Wow. this
How to
person,
recognize it and not.
Yeah, I know,
confuse
when he came to
Because
the
from the
pruning workshop
picture-
last spring, they found one that was covered with lantern flies in Florence Park. It was on the other side of the fence, though.
What they find.
A tree of heaven. But it was private property.
this person,
Yeah,
That
it
was-
really worked on
you
that.
really made her change for that.
Yeah,
It is quite confusing
It's definitely
to
something. to think about.
identify the ailanthus. The black, the ailanthus has that one leaf at
Yeah.
the top or leaflet, the
Yeah.
terminal leaflet. The black walnut doesn't, but then it's sumac.
it does. But it has the
Because
jagged thing.
sumac is two.
Anyway, using this, I actually
Okay.
was pretty sure I did identify one, but it's on private property. It was like next to the sidewalk. Yeah, I sent an email to Cornell Extension and asked if they had anything, they might have a recommendation. But you're right, I think the public, some kind of public information campaign might be.
But so let's say this is happening in the public parks, right?
It's happening
Everywhere.
Everywhere.
But they probably already, do they have someone who advises them? or
Well, I know that
something?
about a year ago, there was a whole thread of emails from the Parks Department people in different parks.
Yes.
Saying they'd seen one here, or they seen some here, so they're on the lookout for it. I don't know what they're doing. Maybe that's the first question.
Yeah, because if we know what they doing, because they have many more trees.
Yeah,
They might even be already, maybe we can join force or something.
Yeah.
With them.
we find out what Parks is doing.
I'm pretty sure the village or the community for the environment, somebody said that some sort of PSA.
We have to
on the
have
spot
Did they?
why, yeah,
someone else.
somebody did.
New York State has a whole page. on it. You can just Google
Yeah,
it.
yesterday I Googled because I saw for the first time in Queens. when I was in Queens.
My son saw like, I don't know, 100 and something like that on one tree.
But there's no flying in one.
Yeah.
Well, I saw some. Very
Well,
upsetting.
Oh, man, I would have no idea.
Yeah,
But in New York City, I think they say to contact them if you see it, right?
yeah,
So
they do,
Yeah, I
but
don't know if they do anything.
And then over in
I think
Squash
that
Lake.
was when they were trying to track them, and now that they're here, I can't imagine they're gonna want to hear.
I know, I don't like to.
I'm guessing that was to help them track the migration of them, but now that they're here, people email them every time, they're gonna have
Yeah,
like millions of emails.
probably, that's not me.
I'm not they
Good. Um. Watched, and then anyway, we have another. one. I watched Doug telling me doing a talk online about. The question was, are non-native. Are alien plants bad? It was really interesting, actually. He concluded that in every case, even if. I was looking for it because something that I thought I was a honeysuckle plant that I was really happy with for several years and taking really good care of. I suddenly realized was the invasive one. And I've been pruning it and very pleased with some taking it out, but. I've seen butterflies on it, but he said even if you see a few, they've compared, native, the native food sources. To these invasive ones and they're just magnitudes difference. So out they're coming. I feel really silly though.
We only know what we know, right?
Yeah, I know now. The other thing is actually several parts, which is second thing that came over across my desk on Tuesday. Committee for the Environment submitted as proposed this resolution about planting only native plants in public area.
Yeah.
And I'm very pro-native, but I had the next attachment 3 is a whole string of emails, and if we go back to the bottom. My big concern is with the street trees, which I assume that would govern us as well. But I am concerned because we mostly plant natives as street trees, but we have some streets that are so hot and dry, like along the coast road, we put in London plants, we put them in other places because they're not native, they grow fast, nothing kills them. They make shade, they take up water, they sequester carbon, they do all these things, they just don't host anything. But we plant a lot of other things too, like we plant oaks and sweet gum and other trees.
Yeah. How about sycamore? Is sycamore not?
Yeah, but
bird?
that's it's a hybrid of sycamore and something, and they look so much alike. Sycamores are good, you're right, but I think there's something that's getting them.
There's a sycamore.
There's a disease,
So London claims are.
then they don't get it.
Well, maybe we could say something else like where. Not in this language, but like where at all possible, where there's no alternative or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know what the right language is, but
Well, there was an interesting email that another person on that committee then sent.
This is all coming from the Committee on the Environment.
The
Resolution.
resolution is from them, and then I sent an answer to Kate, which. Yeah, I guess that's me at the beginning. Kate sent me the copy of the draft, it's the first attachment.
this
3.
is the proposal. This is
It's a
not an
proposal, it
actual
has to
law,
be-
because Tom, it has your name at the end of it.
I know. It's
Yeah, it hasn't.
under an authority that I don't possess.
So what I said to Kate is we complicate what we're doing. We can do it. Especially because we've got trees now in the coast road and a lot of other places that need the county, so we need them. But I just feel as if it's there are, as you were saying, there are times when, non-natives are well, and then someone on that committee, Dinah, whose last name I've forgotten, I'll admit her, came up with her own email on Tuesday. Saying the mission is, tree planting, the mission is critical to mitigating urban heat island effects, which is what we're trying to do. in the village. She said, we need an understanding of trade-offs, lean into the leaf color ASAPs, and then in some
No,
places.
that's like what yours.
Yeah, so she was saying the same thing. Anyway, I don't know exactly how to go about this.
I think what Dinah or Dina, whatever,
Dinah.
how she said is the way to go about it.
Yeah,
Because she's
she's on
spot
that.
on
Yeah.
with. Recognizing that going all native is not necessarily. The right thing to do. Because
Right
we
now,
also,
you know, maybe.
well, as the climate is changing and things are migrating.
Yeah,
North.
That's
but
true.
Migrating from this, things migrating from the south, they're migrating up
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
So what's not native now may very well become
Yeah.
native in the future.
Palm trees on Mamaroneck Avenue.
Yeah, imagine. So we have sharks. Seals move north and the sharks get with them.
Yeah, that's right.
Water.
That's right.
And shark-
We've got red-bellied woodpeckers now, which, we're just, I've always been I had them nesting right outside my bedroom.
Oh, really?
So much fun, and then one morning they were gone. Either that or the parents died of exhaustion, because they were really busy. But, Tom, what's the way to suggest adjusting it? I mean, for us to recommend that perhaps not be quite as.
I think that you can send a memo to the Board of Trustees
Okay,
saying, you've read their proposed
yeah, resolution.
resolution, and while you support, the intent, there should be some allowances for deviation
Okay,
when conditions would make that a better solution.
when is this coming up?
I don't know. I haven't seen it on our agenda yet. They're there constantly.
Yeah, well, they're busy.
They are, yes.
This person is from the part of this community.
She's part of that committee, so.
Was that Dinah?
It's great. I mean, they're going around and finding all these little bits of land and putting native gardens in.
Oh, Kate. Yeah, Kate's amazing. Yeah,
Yeah.
Hayes,
Kate
Kate Hayes.
Kate DeHaze.
Kate DeHaze.
Where does she live?
She lives on Prospect and Heathcote.
She's fairly new to the community, I think.
Yeah, probably maybe 10, 12 years.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, more, well, I met her probably in 2010, so
Oh,
maybe
okay.
more than that, yeah. She got more active. She retired and got more active recently.
Okay, I'll do that. I mean, we have, and then the last thing I attached was our recommended tree list, the most recent one, which we had one that we put together that we were using, and then George Purpose gave me a list of street trees that he had put in, had recommended, and Kings, basically native. There might be some exceptions. So I added the ones that I thought would work here. I don't know all of them. They're not all street trees that would work here. I think some of them are too broad, but they might go in parks. And Jerry's office has been handing this list out when people want to know what trees to plant. So it's very helpful to have a comprehensive. George's comments are great.
So there are a lot of known.
We really
Not
need the
many.
heat tolerant.
What?
We need heat tolerant too. We have salt tolerant. We need heat tolerant. extreme heat.
Well, drought tolerant, I would
Yeah.
say.
Yeah,
I can't. I can look for it. It's hard to find. I haven't even finished researching these. Salt tolerance is important here, especially because. Both the street salt and in the winter and the aerosol salt from
the water.
the water. And some do one and some do the other. So I didn't do it for George's list, but I did do it for the ones we had on the list previously.
So
Yeah,
is this a combination of George's
Yeah,
and Arrow?
Yeah, the smaller trees, we've been using more non-natives, because those seem to be the ones that were working.
Yeah, he
But-
put in serviceberry, but I see problems with them. They do, it says here comments white canopy. And it is a problem like on prospect.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah,
they
they're too
need a lot of
I know.
pruning. And so do cherries, but
but they can go other
the
places.
service berries will
Yeah,
just.
I know they
stick
are,
right
I know
out.
they are. In the
Yeah.
parkway, there's 3 circles that have been planted. And now one of them died, but they have 2 service berries and they fill the circle.
Yeah.
You know, and it's great, it's
That's
all these,
nice.
it's beautiful,
you have
but it won't
faith,
work on
yeah.
a street.
Right.
And the other thing was we were planting them on a couple streets, I think we put them on Carroll Avenue, that was like one of the first trees. that-
Prospect, not prospect, sorry, Palmer.
Yeah, okay, and they did well, they're too wide on Palmer,
Mhm.
but they did well on Carroll, but then for a couple of years, they were dying right away, they were coming in from the nursery with something, so we stopped planting them. They're great trees, but they don't really work on the streets, and then they were dying.
It's too bad about salt with the dog.
Yeah, but it's something we need to think about, and then drought, is becoming a problem periodically, so.
My guess is that Cornell Cooperative Extension has like newer, recommendations.
I've called them, they gave me the crabapple sugar time, which is on here, Nala's sugar time.
Mhm.
Now, it's a hybrid, so I don't know exactly how much it supports. I'm sure I know the birds eat the fruit. But, I called them and asked for a small street tree
Mhm.
that would take all of our stuff, and that was the one they gave us, and it's working really well.
Great.
Not pretty the first year, it takes a year or 2 to get going,
Mhm.
and it looks really nice. But I thought next year we would try hawthorns. Although I don't know how they do, it does spoil salt, so it would be okay. Away from, as long as it's not along the water.
And drought. No, it's a drought resistant.
I usually look at drought, but I don't have it on this list. And then there's some, Marlene, if there's interesting ones, babies a lot.
Sycamore is not on here.
I know, but the London pine that's because of the disease, that's why I
Okay.
didn't put it on.
Okay.
They're beautiful trees, I love them.
There's something.
Interesting, the Kentucky.
Coffee tree, which
Yeah.
seems to be native around here. Then there are things like the Osage orange, but that can only go in a park because it has
No.
huge fruit.
No, you can't put it in the park because
Really?
it's on someone's head. It's like having a big softball fall on your head or bigger. They're very heavy and
Okay.
hard. There used to be one at the park on,
Oh, is
Boy,
that the
what
one
is-
that's in Marietta? On Bleecker?
There's one in
I think
Florence
that
Park.
one's dead now. There was one, it's a park, I can't think of the name of it. But it's by North Barry at an intersection.
Yeah,
What's that park, Tom? On
Yeah, it's
Little playground.
yeah, little
Oh, the
playground
playground.
across the street from the fire department,
Jefferson Avenue.
Jefferson Avenue
Yes.
Park.
There used to be an Osage orange there. I'm talking many years ago.
Oh, I wouldn't put it in a playground.
Right, and it was removed, and I think for the sake, well, not as much exposure, but still, they could be dangerous, unless it's somewhere like where people aren't really going.
Well,
You know?
Florence Park is actually interesting. I wish they'd fix the drainage because it needs more trees. It takes some of that. But they've got one, and I would never plant at where the fields are. But they've got almost an arboretum at the other end. And there is no sage orange there. And
Really?
Yeah, apparently.
That's cool.
Yeah. George found it.
Wow.
But that's where if we ever get the chestnuts, that's where I would put them.
Those trees are from Oklahoma, Texas, Arkansas,
So they're not really native
No.
here.
and in the Blackland prairies, post oak savannas and chiso savannas.
Oh, maybe
So
we don't
I'm
really-
guessing they do well with drought.
We've dropped, yeah.
Maybe we should just take them off the list.
They were used originally by Osage Indians, Native Americans as like barriers, like fencing.
Oh,
Because they're
really?
very pulpy and dense, the branching, yeah.
Maybe we should take them off the list.
Native to the south central America.
Yeah, it's not native, it's like marigolds, but even says, it's not marigolds, they're native, they're native.
Marigolds are native.
They're native to Arizona, so, you know.
I don't know, if we should eliminate them. because
Mexico.
These are areas, these are regions that are hot. and
Yeah.
We need to think hot.
Yeah,
You
And
know
it
what,
also does snow there. So, maybe this is a good.
you know what, it's ranges, like, Sarah Robertson and I were planting swamp white oaks instead of white oaks,
Mhm.
because we figured they were more southern and the climate would change. But then I actually looked at it, and the white oak range goes down to like northern Florida, so
Mhm.
I'm doing white oaks now because
That's
they're
good.
just, they're a little prettier. The others are nice, but I figured, they've got pretty wide ranges in a lot of cases, but you're saying Osage Garden, it's not.
but then another thing it says is it's remarkably free from insect predators and fungal
Oh,
diseases.
no, that's no good. We like insects.
No, I know, but it's remarkably free from fungal
Yeah.
diseases.
Oh,
So,
well.
it's like. it's-
This or that.
It's, yeah,
Put a question mark.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't,
Did you,
it's not
did you
something
plant-
we would recommend, I don't think
Yeah.
we would recommend.
maybe we should take it
people
off
put
the
that in
list, but
have you done red oak?
Yet,
we have red oaks on here, red oaks,
Have we planted, has the chief committee?
pin oaks are red oaks, and northern red oaks are around here, like, they're on the first page.
Yeah, I'm just asking if it's been on the list to plant, the pin oaks, it says no for slope type soil.
I've been staying away from red oaks when we plant because that's what's here. And there's so many, and white oaks and red oaks, which includes, a broad, like black oaks and pin oaks are all red oaks. And they apparently have very different immune systems. They actually split a long time ago. So I figure that we have so many red oaks that if something starts to take it, like oak wilt, for example, goes for red oaks. And if we start to lose our red oaks, at least we've already got the white oaks coming along. So that's been my thinking. on that.
that's good thinking.
Thank you.
You mentioned basswood, white basswood, American basswood or linden.
Basswood are nice, those are the,
Yeah.
well, yeah, it's got another name. too. They're pretty,
Not
there's
here.
fruit trees in Europe.
Tilia
Linden.
americana, Tilia heterophylla.
Yeah, they're, well, Tilia americana is the lindens, which are so pretty, but they're really wide too, and they're
Oh.
kind of soft.
Mhm.
So I don't think they would work as well for street trees, but they'd be beautiful in parks or people's yards.
Mhm.
It just sort of has, and I don't think they're salt tolerant. They're not. I should finish the salt research. It's hard, it's hard to find that.
I can do some of that.
Oh, would you?
Yeah,
That would be great.
I'm sure that Cornell Cooperative Extension can help with that.
Well, they might, see what you can do. Another really good
Like,
site
yeah.
is the Missouri. Plant something, or other, and anyway, they actually do plants from trees from all over the country.
For now.
Because I think that's really important information.
Yeah.
Street trees.
What is for now?
Cornell Extension Service, that was the one I called up. I was really looking for small street trees, because we have a lot of places where we can't put big trees.
It's something about how, I'll just
Okay.
Yeah,
give advice to.
no, that's the Native Plant Center. They're in Elmsford, I think. They're near there, they're near
Oh,
Belmont.
yeah.
Yeah,
I used
because
to go there.
we used to go there too. Let's go. We just need to call them.
Now she opened her.
Speak quite a long way back.
Now.
Let's see.
Newborn baby.
You know, and we did dogwood one year, they're really pretty. They're not good as well salt, I don't, yeah, they're better in the shade is the thing, and a couple people really wanted them, but they were. I don't know how they've done, it was like last summer when we had that long.
Where did you
drive.
put them?
Two of them on Raleigh in the Heights.
Yeah.
And one of them, I know the owner was watering it in addition to what the board was doing. But I don't think the other one did, and they don't have any shade, so they'll do it in full sun, but they don't do it.
No, because I think most of them have lifespan.
Yeah, it was a small trees
Like
in
20
general,
years or something.
yeah, the small trees generally don't live as long. But, you know, there are places where that's the only tree you can put. So, and
And
people.
nothing.
love them. I've never heard of American smoke tree. American hornbeam is actually taller than I found out is taller than our limit is the fact that Con Ed has that wire at 30 feet. And
Well, could be
they
a
were,
good park tree, maybe?
yeah, in fact, it would do better in Cape. When it's on the street and there's sun, yeah, it's good park, yeah.
Hornbeam, you said?
Hornbeam. When it's on the street, it actually will work all right on the street. When it's in the shade, it's a really spreading shape, and it supports a lot of pollinators apparently. When it's in the sun, it looks like Seurat paintings, they're just the pointers, and they have the trees shaped like that. It keeps that shape, which I don't like, but some people do, and they like their trees
Yeah.
to be really disciplined. So it actually, I think, can go on the street. Because if it's in the sun, it's not going to be too wide. Because it goes both places, but I would prefer it in the shade, because I like that spreading. But I've had people request it. With street. I mean, Gail, do you think we should put sycamores on the list?
I think we need to research it. If you say that there's a disease, then I want to plant something that's suffering right now. But if it's not an issue anymore, then
Okay,
I think it's worth looking into.
okay.
I wouldn't say we should, so.
Just looking at the disease, and then the things that we like the London plains for, which are, you know, they grow quickly. Those three, they tolerate heat and drought. I mean, London plain, I really have to keep speaking for London plains because they're just indestructible.
They do, well, squirrels nest in them sometimes. But they much prefer oaks, obviously. because
Yeah.
they have food.
And we plant lots of oaks.
No, so you said the sycamore, great for planting a road, provide lots of shades. And also. And so we just need to know about the disease, right?
Yeah,
Or no cooperative.
Or not cooperative,
The other trees that can also get exposed, sycamore, anthracnose.
that's probably the one.
It can also affect
London plain.
buttonwood, London plain, and Orient plane tree, because they're all the same family.
I don't think it is as likely at all. I don't know what London plains cost, but I don't think it's the Oriental one, I think it might, it seems to me it might be crossed with maple, which doesn't sound right.
I'm kind of thinking the same thing, actually.
Really?
London plane tree
Yeah.
is less susceptible to cankers than
Yeah.
Americans.
Mm.
Because if this does get sick, it says it can result in abnormal branching. Or as the twigs start breaking, fall.
What's the sycamore or the London
The
pine?
sycamore.
Sycamore.
Mm.
They've been around for a long time.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, we have a few in that. Like usually we call.
Well, the ones.
All along Rockland and Palmer Avenue.
They're on
to
Palmer
Washington.
too, as you go closer to
Yes.
Larch Mountain, they're
Yeah.
beautiful, they're beautiful trees.
Yeah,
But the London plains are pretty too.
Yeah, so there are some problems. I don't know, I never researched that before. in my life.
Do you wanna
That's
see-
all
You
new
know,
more
I
to
have
me.
to look at that because my brother-in-law has a sycamore, a beautiful sycamore, and they're watching it because I think he was in something that.
And truck knows. These terms. Not my
Beautiful tree for a park is Copper Beach. I don't know if beach are on here, are they?
I'm not sure they are. That's a good idea. American Beach.
There are a couple of outstanding at Copper Beach and Larchmont that are beasts. They must be at least a couple hundred years old. Like,
Really, I don't know. We have a Copper Beach because my husband wanted it and then we had a big discussion about it because I wanted American Beach.
Oh, Copper Beach is not native?
It's not native.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah, I know. I think it's European and it's also the copper is from a chromosome break or something. It's mutation. They also have a European beach. So I don't think they support as much. I'm not quite clear on it. It's the American beach. On the other hand, there's a disease that the American beaches get.
Yeah,
Maybe a question, because some of these non-natives will support. Like I think. Anyway.
Did you ever get the black
Vitality.
cherry? I remember,
What?
when I was on the committee, there was discussion about black cherry.
Yeah,
happened
black
with
cherry,
that?
they're tall for one thing, they're not short.
Well.
I
that
have-
place would be
I
convenient.
have one that came up on its own in my yard and I'm thrilled because after oak, white oak, they're like the next most support of, you know, caterpillars, which is what the Ptolemy measures. And I was so thrilled and it's getting tall, it's beautiful, it grows really fast, it spreads.
which street did you say?
It's a black cherry,
Black
it's
cherry.
the native. And then a second one I realized was coming up on its own in my backyard, so I've been, it was kind of crooked, so I've been straightening it and pruning it. And I looked them up and they're not supposed to be invasive in this country, they're invasive in Europe. They're invasive. I'm digging them up all over my property.
Wow.
So I mean, they're great, they're important,
They're good
trees, but
trees.
I don't
They're-
want a whole orchard of them.
Yeah,
So they do, they said the birds love them,
So that's
the
really.
caterpillars love them, you know, I mean, they just, you know. they're-
What's the
they're-
name of the park in Harbor Heights?
Harbor Heights?
Warren Avenue,
Ward Avenue?
Warren Avenue
Warren.
Park.
Oh,
Right,
yeah,
Warren Avenue Park. Yeah, I've seen black cherry there.
have you? Yeah,
It's kind of growing like a weed, but
yeah, they do, they're good, I mean, they're valuable trees, it's just that they're really, a lot of them. And they obviously perfectly adapted here, so I'm sort of, I feel ironic about it because I still think they're good trees, but beware.
when is the next planting? Gonna
I
happen?
guess it's in the fall, that's their normal planting, that, you won't know this, but we've talked about the fact that I gave too many locations, we got too many trees last year and the parks guys just couldn't get them all in. So they, you know, they did whatever you're supposed to do to protect them through the winter. And we planted them all but about 10 this spring, but only about half of them are making it.
Really.
I just think it
Yeah.
was, they really
It's too
didn't
much
carry
stress.
over. They're all
Okay,
bare root.
Uh-huh.
I mean, some of them have made it. And
so Parks Department is planting?
yeah, they've done it for several years. And all the ones they did last fall, I've seen maybe 2 failures.
Hmm.
And they did about 200 of them last fall. Yeah, they
You know,
really did a lot.
There are still, after several years, the
Stakes.
the stakes in the ground, and they're starting to choke the tree trunks.
Oh, well, yeah, they have to come out.
I have sent emails about it,
Have
and
you?
they're still there. It's been years.
Let's
It's been
make a
years.
list. Can you just like put your emails into a list and send one? Yeah.
I don't have, I drive by or I'm on a walk,
Yeah,
I
I know.
notice them, there's
I
a
know.
really bad one somewhere on Palmer Avenue, on the north side of Palmer Avenue. One on Palmer Terrace, one on Palmer Court. But, and I try to like take it off and I can't, it's
Yeah,
like
because
really
they're
hard
that hard
wire.
wire.
You can't bend it.
Well, that's fun.
So
Um,
would fix it.
The Parks Department. could
That,
take-
that should be sort of an automatic
Yeah.
thing, like,
It's
it
supposed to
should
be.
be like there's a spreadsheet of what got planted
know.
and then like a year
It
later,
just.
those need to come off.
Yeah. They, you're right, it should be, it's just, I mean, the way the routine is, I think. The routine is supposed to work is they plant the tree, they put the gator, they ran out of gator bags. this spring. They plant the tree, put the stakes in, put the gator bag on, water it for 2 years, and then when they stop, that's when they should probably go
When they
around.
collect the gator bags,
Yeah.
then they should take off the stakes.
Yeah,
Isn't 2 years a really long time for the stakes? Isn't it like a year?
a year's probably better, and they
Yeah.
can take the bags off every year and then put them
Okay.
back on.
I think a year, I think what George said is that the tree will be stronger if it
Yeah.
gets some
Yeah, if it has,
wobbling
Right,
from
it can
wind,
straighten.
it's, yeah.
Yeah, it has to set its roots.
um,
It has to set its roots for
Yeah,
the direction.
yeah.
the wind blows.
yeah.
Yeah. Do you
Um,
remember that experiment where people were living in this big bubble? They-
Yes, it like in the Southwest.
Like a dome, I don't know where they did it, but there was this glass dome and they had supposed to be just the self-sustaining environment. And the trees grew quickly and tall, and all the trees fell down
Oh, really?
because there was no wind. They didn't factor in wind. The roots went down, but the tree, the structure, the, I guess cellular structure was very weak. They grew too tall, too fast, and
So interesting.
yeah. Trees that are like kind of in the woods, in the dark a little bit, and they stay very small for many, many years
Yeah.
until a bigger tree falls. Those trees are very strong
Because they're pretty.
because they're just like they're putting all their energy into the trunk. They haven't developed all those branches going up
And the roots.
and the roots.
Trees
Yeah.
are so smart.
Yeah. They really are.
But like, so I just mentioned.
Okay, so
Oh, so if we get rid of the stakes, it will help them use their muscles. Yes.
I'll
whatever.
ask Jeff, if they can just as part of their routine, when the bags come off in the fall, remove all the stakes.
Mhm.
Now, the trees you're describing probably don't have bags on,
No, they don't.
so we're gonna have to collect.
They've just been like neglected. I have
Yeah.
a feeling that throughout the village, like here and there.
Yeah, I'm sure it's occasional.
I saw a bunch on Orienta Avenue.
Yes, there was something there that.
You wanna start keeping.
For over a year, yeah.
This has been at least 3 years. There was a
If
really
we
big
can build a
storm
list,
with
it's
a giant.
easier, it's easier for them to handle it if we
Okay,
send a
sure. Mm-hmm.
list or even 2 lists, spread out, but instead of. That was why we started, James Barney asked me to just once a month send
Sure.
him all the
Yeah,
trees that
makes
need
sense.
attention.
So that's the spreadsheet you're gonna do that in. Information.
Yeah,
That was from her, right, to be able to edit.
falling over now.
Yeah.
May I make a suggestion that someone on the committee take this on, so it's not always you having,
That's a good idea.
and somebody maintain a list, because as we, I know we're all walkers here.
Yeah.
And as we walk through the village, we notice something, and if we could just shoot a text to someone. And that
That's the list.
person would volunteer to maintain a list and of whatever, however often into the month and a quarter, whatever period. Then send that to you, you send it to James, or that person could send it, whatever you decide is the protocol. But it's hard to, you see it and then you go home, you don't remember, if like, that would be very helpful to just send that info to someone.
Yeah.
And maybe the same for if you see an issue with a tree, someone else volunteer for that,
Yeah.
just sort of keep a spreadsheet or a list.
Well, that
But
list,
that's what she
I
did.
do have that
That's
list,
what she.
but
she
a
has
new
done.
list for
Oh, new
like
list.
this.
But do you want to, do you want
She-
text every time we see something, we text you or email?
Well,
you?
if we're doing this, as far as the trees that need work, let's go ahead with that. It was set up as a Google Doc, sheet.
Okay, so I don't have access
No,
to that.
you don't.
So what
I
is
can
it?
give it to you. Well, it's just that it was set up by Sarah Magnoni,
Uh-huh,
One who has the-
who's on the committee, but she had a baby 2 weeks ago, and I don't feel like asking her to
Uh-huh,
have people
sure.
do it right now.
so what's the protocol?
Yeah, well,
See
it would
something?
go in to, you would receive that you have access to
Right,
the
so,
list.
so
And
I'm
then-
walking along the street and I see something that needs attention, what do I do?
Well, at the moment, you just tell me, because I have a list, but as soon as I can get back online,
We can take
Okay.
turns.
Yeah,
She
or
could
you know,
share-
every,
she
you
could
can
share
just
the
go into,
document.
she'll share the document and you
Okay.
can go
Yeah,
into it.
Yeah, but then we can take turns of webs and, I don't know, not to be just on you,
Yeah.
something like that.
Right.
Just to
Okay.
take
Do
turns.
a
Yeah.
lot there.
Yeah, I was thinking,
You do
looking
a
at you, taking
lot.
all those notes and it's about, so I have a lot of.
All the emails, all the, you know,
Yeah, you're right.
fun.
Well, it is, especially when we're rolling off. Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be good to spread those out.
Yeah.
So,
So let's see.
okay,
Able to talk to her and then we can.
okay.
Yeah.
So right now you're doing the tree, attention to trees, and how about somebody else? Should this be included in that spreadsheet when we see something with stakes?
I think they're
Or should that
different
be
departments. I
separate?
think that the stakes are
Parks,
parks and the
right.
maintenance is DPW.
Right, so I would suggest that somebody on the committee take charge of a spreadsheet list, whatever you want to call it, and then that person can be contacted when the rest of us see stakes.
Stakes, okay. Who wants to do the stakes?
I can do the stakes.
Yes, okay.
Do I have to send it in a Google spreadsheet
Well,
or?
no, at
I'm
this
not
point, if
good
we
at-
just tell you, no, I know, that's why I had
Free.
Sarah set it up. I
I
had
don't even
no
have,
idea.
I
how
have
to
a
do it.
laptop.
I think, you know, I
Cracked
can
it
create
because I'm so
I
bad.
can create. In creating the.
Excel spreadsheet or
No,
something.
Just in Google, in the Google Drive, you can even, well, my phone battery is dying. But we can just, I can create the list, you just need to figure it out like, I think, right, that we have to follow like a pattern, like so lists to be similar, just to make
Mhm.
it easier for. right?
Well, it's the same
And then,
information again. You
then
need
we
the
have the
street
same
number.
information, yeah.
So we just set it up following the format.
Yeah.
Yes.
That Sarah already set
Yeah,
up. We
yeah.
just make a different sheet.
Yeah,
I can make.
You
it
could
and
copy
share it.
that sheet and then change.
Yeah, and change it. I can-
What's in
yeah.
it.
That part, I can do easily and then. So,
Okay.
do I have access to that one or no?
I'll send you my spreadsheet. You
Okay.
can figure out what to do.
I
with
figure it out and then I share with Wendy and then we figure it out.
Okay.
You have to have
Other
editing
people.
rights. Do people have editing rights you could add into it?
That has been the problem, right? No, but
It's
even if it doesn't have editing rights, because we don't want to wait for Sarah, I can just copy.
Okay,
I don't know
And
if
then
you
they
can.
are we
Yeah.
talking now about the stakes or are we
Yeah.
talking
I
about
can
the
just
maintenance?
copy. Fine.
We're talking about the stakes or the maintenance?
Talking about setting up a
Stakes.
spreadsheet for stakes.
Okay, good. I send you that.
Okay.
Similarly,
Wait, so you're the person that we send info to
For
for stakes.
stakes.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
gonna have to set up the
Is
list.
somebody
and then
taking minutes?
I just dawned on me.
I am.
Okay.
I've got them here. And
All right.
you're right, I forgot that.
Set up the, how do you call it, stake list?
Yeah. AKE.
Yeah, I know. It's like a meter per deal.
Yes.
Stick. I always think about meter per deal. I remember this, for me as a foreigner, it was just fascinating when I started reading those stories to test. Oh, wow, I would make the same mistakes. All right, and share.
Okay. Thank you for the reminder. Yeah. I'm interested in what we were saying. I will say that I'm going to make the minutes a lot less detailed than they've been. in the
Yeah, that's
past.
what you mentioned, that just the bullets, right, to avoid,
It's just that
Drawings,
it
right?
gets misinterpreted,
Yeah,
so it's not gonna be as specific. It's good to have notes to remember what happened. But it's just people who don't sit in the meetings and don't understand that it's a continuity. you know, Talk about something this month, and then we have new information next month, and it gets distorted. So I think we need less specific minutes.
yeah.
The only other thing, did anyone have anything else? Because the only other thing I wanted to do was talk about the next meeting date.
Okay.
Okay, we're on, first of all, we're on the calendar since we had to keep rescheduling, we're officially scheduled for July 19th, which seems to me today is July 6th, and that's just too soon. So I would cancel that one. The one after that is going back to our first Wednesday which is August 2nd. I would have to zoom into it, and I'm happy to do that if, you know, you can.
Yeah, for me, it's gonna be complicated.
Oh, right,
because I'm
you're out of
going away,
town.
Yeah.
When are you coming back?
Well, technically, I'm coming back on the 16th,
Oh, right, that's
17th,
this.
right? But I might go away again.
Oh. Well, we have
Then
other
depending
committee
where I
members.
am, I'll be, then I go to Brazil.
Yeah, that would be hard to zoom in.
No, it's not hard, it's just, yeah, I can, it's just, in August to be hard because I'll be kind of traveling more in the August, like August 2nd, right?
Yeah.
That one, I don't know, cause how, but if
Would
I'm in
August
Brazil,
2nd be something you could zoom?
yeah,
in?
I can try, it's just that, I'll be in Portugal.
God, you have such an interesting life. I go to West Virginia.
Yeah, but because when you're foreigner with family everywhere, right?
Yeah.
You know, you become this international person, even if you don't want to be, right? Like, it's always basic. Go see your sister, go see your mother.
Portugal is awesome. Eat a lot of pastéis there.
Yeah, my sister lives there, right? So then I'm gonna, so I was, if you need me, I can, you know.
Okay,
it's
I'm
just
gonna
that
put
I'll
that-
be there.
What is August?
It's gonna be very late for you, remember?
It's okay.
Oh,
Seven
yeah.
thirty
So
here,
birthday,
plus
we usually,
six
maybe you're allowed for you
hours.
to go out, but,
4 hours.
It's 4 hours?
but
No,
it's not happening, so
it's
you
more
could-
than that, 5 or 6, I
Right,
think.
See, we can try,
It's gonna be midnight.
I brought the calendar somewhere.
Yeah, I think it'd be hard for me on the second, because
Okay.
The time difference.
the time
it'll
will
be
be
like
5
midnight.
hours.
Yeah.
5 hours.
Okay.
Oh, you would do it for the tree committee.
I mean, I would do for the tree committee, seriously, if it's necessary.
Can we have an early?
Yeah.
Can we have an earlier
We can
meeting,
have
like an
earlier
afternoon
here, I
meeting?
can
Is that possible?
No, because,
No.
not everyone's available.
Right.
Well, but if you need a quorum, I will,
You know
I'll
what,
be like.
Thursday the 4th. Yeah, I know, we just need your camera on.
I'm traveling that day. Oh, no, sorry, the 4th of what?
August,
That's a Friday.
is that a Friday? What about the 3rd of August? It's a Thursday,
I will add it.
you'll
here.
still be there.
Yeah, but doesn't, you know, if you need me, if you, I'd be like, what's her name?
Marlene.
Marlene, I'll do like
Krishna should
Marlene,
be back.
I do like Marlene.
Krishna will be back, okay. So
If
I
I
can
believe,
zoom in,
yeah,
Krishna-
they'll be back, yeah.
It's
at the end of
Why don't we
July.
just do a Zoom meeting then?
We can't,
Oh, we can't.
we're only allowed to do hybrid. Which means somebody has to be here.
It's August 3rd, what time you think?
August 3rd would be our regular time, but that seems, the only other, we might have to meet here again because the Arts Council is in the regatta. That's the only other thing that night. Thursday.
Right,
Okay, wait, so it could be. It could be, let's see if we can do it without you. Krishna's back then?
I believe so.
I remember his wife, Jen, she texted us.
Can we wake Marlene up?
Marlene?
I'm here.
Oh, you're here. Would you be able to come to a meeting on Thursday, August 3rd?
I believe so.
And here Jennifer said that Krishna will be back. We text her last
So
week.
I would zoom
Oh,
into it
Krishna
with the
didn't
rest of you.
He
Mr.
was,
Mayor, would you be able to do?
August 3rd?
Third or Thursday?
Let me look.
We'd have to be, I would have to zoom into it,
Let me look.
but you're good at this now.
Okay. But you know, the problem with the 3rd on Thursday is the zoning board's here.
Oh. Why are they not here tonight? I guess we're not the first one.
The 3rd is, well, you know what?
Is it-
We could do the Zoom from the regatta,
No, the Arts Council is in there.
chances.
Yeah.
We've got too many incredible things going on.
I
in
know,
this village.
this village is a little
Yeah.
too.
Right.
I mean, we could skip August, I suppose,
A lot of committees skip August.
do they? Maybe we should just skip August, because I.
What is
don't
the
think-
regular date? And
Our regular date would be the second, and we
The
would have.
second Thursday,
No,
No,
the first Wednesday.
First.
Which
the
is the
first
second of
Wednesday,
August.
and we can't do that second of
Oh,
August.
well. Wait a minute, okay, Marlene, could you do Wednesday, the second of August?
Yes.
Yes,
Oh,
wait a minute, okay, so the second would be. Oh, you have.
I'll be a maybe, I'm a maybe,
Um,
that's all.
Christian is back on the second.
But also I
And
think
you
the
are
third
in
will be hard for
Portugal?
me.
BAR is here.
Maybe the-
I'm sorry, what?
BAR is here.
But
the
the
second?
third, we have, I mean, on the second, we would be.
Yeah, we've never
regatta,
got
'cause that's our regular night.
So we need at least.
And where is it gonna be?
What?
That'll be in the
Where are
regatta.
we holding?
Well, if
Regatta,
we're doing it, it would be in the
regatta.
regatta.
Check with Sally for availability.
Yeah, but it was reserved for that,
I
so.
just turned on my camera, I mean, I'll be, you know, at midnight there, that's fine.
Wendy, could you zoom in?
The third I could zoom.
What about the second?
Second, I'm not sure, I'm a maybe.
I mean, I would just go ahead and cancel for August, except that we. Moved in April, we didn't
Yeah.
meet in May.
Yeah,
And,
Give it a try, see who shows up. I can make it.
okay, the second or the third?
The second,
Okay, yeah.
the third, you're.
Yeah,
you're
third
spaced.
is BA. What, you,
I might be able to, I just
okay,
can't say
okay,
at this
so maybe
point,
Wendy.
I'm a maybe,
When will you know?
Are you coming?
when it gets closer.
Do you
to
have
my-
WhatsApp?
I don't count for a quorum, so.
Just-
No, but I wonder if
Usually just
someone
not-
could send me a message via WhatsApp.
But it might not
Yeah,
happen
you need
that
to be
exact
there,
night,
you know
so
what I mean?
that's what I'm
Oh.
saying.
Because
Keep
of
it
the,
open.
do you have
Okay, so
WhatsApp?
what I'm gonna do is
Yeah,
just
do you have
leave
an
it on the
iPhone or
calendar.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, but
Because
you know,
if you
but
can't make it,
when
we
I
can't.
travel,
Yeah.
I
I
have
mean,
the
that's my
WhatsApp,
preference.
you know, I don't have
But
the phone.
because Sarah said she'd be out all summer.
So
Right.
I cannot
With
use
the
my
baby.
regular
And-
phone, I don't
Oh,
have
She's gonna be in
text.
Portugal.
Oh,
and I
but
just
you
have
have access to WhatsApp.
No, it's
I
just,
just happy.
yeah, it's just 5 hours.
You remind me about the meeting and then I will
It's 5
remind.
hours ahead.
Yeah, I'll be kind of sleepy and
Okay,
I'll
okay.
wake up, but.
Yeah,
maybe-
you remind
maybe
me
not
and
that.
I will
Yeah,
WhatsApp
just-
Lilia.
Yeah, just if
Okay.
if you are not.
You can't
when-
believe the number of reminders we sent out for tonight.
It's really helpful, Bev, 'cause I was so tired.
Oh, look,
I'm on the
I have
phone.
you, okay.
Yes.
All right, so.
Okay, we're gonna
if
stay on the
Wendy-
calendar.
if Wendy can't, and then Gail's gonna send me a WhatsApp because I need
Right.
I don't have text there because I'm gonna
Thank you.
change my.
Okay.
Yeah,
And then
And
I
then
will
Krishna.
just give me the direct, the code to.
Yeah, Sally Roberts. sends that.
Maybe.
Oh,
by
you're not on
then I
the
will have
email
my
right
email.
now.
Do you think if I come here tomorrow, I can talk to Cliff and he can help me to fix, to get my email? Because, and
Oh,
also
yeah.
map.
Hold on
I
one
sent you
second.
the map and the
Oh, yeah,
spreadsheet. I
no,
did that
the
this
page. Yeah,
afternoon.
yeah.
I did that this afternoon.
Yeah, that's, no, but they think you did a bit of.
Oh.
What's your email?
Huh?
What's your, what email can I reach you at right now?
Oh, my email now, I'm writing for you.
Do you want to just type it in?
Yeah, sure.
And then
My
Diane
email
said
here?
she'll do it.
On
No.
my phone.
No, the email that you're gonna get email on, not the
Oh,
village
okay,
email.
okay. I need to,
You,
the email from here because he sent me,
No,
oh, my
no.
regular email.
your regular.
Okay.
You need your setup too.
no, my
Oh, you
email
don't?
was set up, I just can't get into it.
Well, that's.
I made a typo, sorry.
I
Hi.
think they
That lessens the efficiency.
Trying to change the password and it kept telling me that
You
I
can't.
forgot what the message
Yeah.
was saying.
No, I
So
made a
now
typo. It's okay,
directory.
I'm fixing.
So I emailed Sally.
I never got back in.
I tried to put Lila goes Lola, you know?
On my iPad,
Lily.
because I do a lot of work. on my
All right,
iPad.
that's my regular email, right?
Gotcha.
And then, but I do have I know when I received my letter, they gave me an email like Eldris.
Yeah.
The problem is that I don't know how to, it needs to be activated or he needs to walk me through it. So, and tomorrow I'm not working and so if you
I
need
think it's
me,
because you're a
if I can come
volunteer
by.
for the tree committee, I mean, for the village, and so the village has to do passwords. No?
Like the
Tom,
White Queen of
what-
dropping
Well, we
people.
have, when someone has an email, village email, do we get to, can we reset the passwords or no?
It's our own password.
It's your own password. I would think so.
I don't know.
I mean, you set up your own
Yeah.
password, so you should be able to change your own password.
Yeah.
But I can't
Okay.
change my password and I don't remember my,
So Sally will get you, she will put a light of fire under Cliff. You will get that.
All right, yeah, he also. All right,
Okay,
Sorry, I'm
I
so
think
good
we've done
at
it.
getting
Thank you,
emails.
everybody.
It's fine.
Marlene, thank
So-
you very much.
Mazel
yes,
tov,
Lucy?
Marlene.
Yeah.
Thank you, thank you.
Welcome, boy,
How long are you
girl.
gonna be there for?
Little boy,
Oh,
congratulations.
This is your first grandchild, isn't it?
yes.
Oh,
wow.
It's the best job in the world.
Very exciting.
bye-bye.
Is it your phone? Is it still there?
Oh, that's, oh, yeah.
Sorry.
That sounds like my phone.
It sounds like the end of the episode music, right?
Hi. Hi, we're just finishing. You okay? Okay.
Okay, nice to see you, Marlene, even on a screen.
Okay, okay.
Nice meeting you.
Pauline.
Here, nice meeting you virtually. Have a good night.
Good night.
Yeah, bye.
Congratulations.
Thanks a lot.
All right.
Well, thank you for doing that.